we'll see what happens. Okay, now it says Zoom connecting to Facebook, and then they hope they hold hands soon.
Yes, it says meeting now streaming live. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not live. It's not live yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Have to wait.
Okay.
Okay, give me a minute.
No worries.
Okay, parents, if you're online right now, just let me do a double check to make sure that everything is fine before I start proper. And thanks so much for being here. Monday morning. Okay, great. It's already live. Hello parents, this is Coach John here from Learning Out of the Box, and thanks so much for being here. And today we have a very special guest, someone who is very energetic and very passionate about what she's doing, because it's my first time that I met her online, but I can already feel her energy, even though we are in different parts of Singapore. Hello, Lenny.
Hi, John. Wonderful to be with you this morning.
Yes, parents, so can you sense her energy? Yes, if you can sense it. I mean, I was totally blown away when I first talked to her, or when I first heard her. Wow. And this person is really very passionate about what she's doing. Okay.
Thank you. Hello, parents.
Again, I can feel it.
Sending you all the love.
Okay. I better tie myself to the chair before I'm blown away again. Okay. So let me share with the parents your profile, and then you can share with us your backstory on how you started off doing what you really love. All right. Okay. So parents, she is an 18 years. Okay, she has over 18 years of experience being a master trainer of Wonderful Minds Private Limited, and today's topic is about raising capable and confident children using mapping. Yeah. So parents, this is a free event, and if you are online with us right now, do like the post to show us that you are here, or say hi, or drop a comment and say hello. We would love to hear from you. Yeah. Okay, over to you. So can you share with us like your backstory, how you end up doing? And I think 18 years of doing what you love is no joke. I mean, some people couldn't even last beyond like 5 or even 10 years.
Right. Thank you, John. Yes, so my name is Lenny from Wonderful Minds. And so what we do here is neuromapping. So what it is brain mapping. As you know, neuro means brain, right? So it's brain mapping. And I've always been very passionate and interested in education, and more than just education, but really, as I was just sharing with John earlier, the interaction between parents and children. It's so lovely to have a wonderful relationship. Of course, it's not going to be, fine and dandy every day. We all have our challenges. So the key then is how then do we relate so well with our kids that, when they grow up, they take away wonderful memories, and we enjoy parenting along the way. So that's what I really love, when parent and child, we become this bridge between parent and child to have this wonderful relationship, and hence Wonderful Minds, right? So all this while in neuromapping, basically what's fascinating about neuromapping is because when we understand the brain, because that's the computer here that does everything else, we understand the brain, the mind, then we can understand and work with our children better. And when we can work with them better, we are then able to guide and groom them in such a way that they become the best version of themselves, and then, but how do we then do that? Because as I give this and I share in our experiences and all the things about neuromapping, you find out that, hey, some of these traits I already know and observe and experience and see in my kids. All right. So then the next thing is, what do we do about it? So because our session today is short, I will be able to share just a little bit. We won't be able to go into all the details. So you'll then be able to take away, if you can identify with certain of these character traits or personality traits or some of these behaviors, and then have 1 or 2 takeaways to deal with it. All right?
All right. Yes. So where should we start? Because I think that you have so many years of experience, and I think, again, like I agree with you that it's only 1 hour. Yeah. So what are some of the first few steps that the parents can actually start off with?
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to start off by sharing my screen, okay, and actually introduce to you what are some of these prints that we're talking about. Now, first of all, this idea about neuro mapping, all right, how does it come about? We are actually going to relate it okay, to some prints. So now if you take a look at your hands, okay, if you look at your palm, all right, now the palm, yes, there are lines, and these lines go in, okay, so you can type in, okay, so these lines go in, all right, and these lines, they change. Every
Really?
3 months, 6 months, they change.
Really? They change?
Yeah, and that's why
I didn't
I
know that.
jokingly say that's why fortune tellers make a fortune, right? Because you'll never pay for the same story 2 times. Okay, and indeed, they change. So today we're not going to talk about fortune telling because we're not able to, all right? But we're looking at fingerprints, because our fingerprints, if you look, these are lines that come out. Okay, if you can type out, okay, then you know that we know that you're following. Okay, out. So these lines actually come out and they protrude and they come out because they're linked to all the different nerves apparently that trace back to the brain. So, and our fingerprints do not change. Okay, so what I'm discussing here are really a lot of research. All right, I won't go into all the details from Harvard University. So our neuromapping reports, they are actually US patented. All right, so original research from Harvard. So a lot of the learning styles and things that I'll be discussing are actually from Harvard University. And so our fingerprints do not change, all right? And so that's what we're going to be looking at, because they found that, when the baby is in the mother's womb, all right, as young as about 13, 15 weeks, that's when the fingerprints are formed already. And at the same time, the brain, all right, is being formed as well. So then they were saying, hey, could there be any correlation? So in fact, one of the early experiments that they did, they injected fluorescent material, all right, into the person. And as they injected to the person moved the thumbs, this part of the brain lit up.
Huh,
Move
really?
the index finger, yeah, this part lit up.
Wow.
Move the middle fingers, this part lit up. Fourth finger here and fifth finger here. All right, so just so that we can take away some nice brain terms, all right, and then can show off to other parents. Okay, so this part is what we call the prefrontal, all right, the prefrontal. This is the postfrontal. This is the parietal. This is the temporal, all right, and then, of course, occipital at the back, all right, so different parts of the brain. So that's when they started to study. So this study initially started out by correlating, seeing that, those who needed help with children, that means in terms of learning disabilities. So when they found correlations between the fingerprint patterns and learning disabilities, that's when they say, hey, how about learning abilities? So from learning abilities and understanding how this brain works, what this child doesn't like, or this person understand, don't understand, agree, don't agree, decide, not decide, also their personality, their behaviors and personality. So you see, once we understand all these components and pieces and integrate and apply, right, some solutions, then we're able to raise, all right, confident kids and capable kids who can truly, be the best form of themselves. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, all right? Yeah, what I'm saying is it is possible, okay? It is possible. So let's keep our minds open. Everyone say open, right? Type open, yeah, and know that this is actually quite possible. So allow me to fiddle with my screen and do a share screen. I hope I'm able to share it.
Yes. Yeah. Please take your time. Oh, I think I can also hear my voice. Is it okay that you can like turn down the speaker?
Turn down the speaker.
Yeah, because I can hear echo. Or now it's all good. Okay.
Oh, is it good now?
Yes. Yeah. At the same time, I think what you're sharing is very useful. So can I have your permission to share with more parents? And that includes also pasting this interview in your Facebook page, your Wonderful Minds Facebook page. Is it
sure,
okay?
Sure. I'm more than happy to do that.
Okay, I will do it for you.
It's just that, I think I better share computer sound.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Only thing is, I'm not sure why I can't go back to my screen.
Okay, if you need help, you can send it to me. I can do it for you.
Okay. Technical issues, right?
Okay, I can. Okay. In the meantime, while you're trying to figure out, please take your time and don't rush. This is supposed to be something that is very enjoyable and something that I think we have to really share out because it's something that many parents really need to know. I'm saying as a parent myself because while we know that our children need to do well in school in the 4 subjects, at least in primary school.
Yes.
Somehow I feel that it's not enough because there's so much things to learn, and our children are growing up so fast. It's like I was looking at my kid, and it always reminded me of her when she was like just born, and now she's already 10 years old. So I was like telling myself, oh, another 10 years will pass by so fast, and I'll be old already.
Right.
Yeah. So parents, if you're online with us right now, do drop us a like or say hi to tell us you are here, because I know that it's some parenting is not an easy journey, and we just want to be with you. And the reason why I'm doing so many of these Facebook lives, not pertaining to the 4 subjects, and the reason is because we want to support parents who teach their children maths at home, and you realize that as you are more involved in your children's life, is more than just teaching maths. We need to also be equipped with other skills and knowledge to nurture our child in terms of building up their confidence as well. And this is something that we are going to discuss today. So if you have any question about how you want to better improve the relationship with your child, do drop us a comments in the Facebook, and then I will bring over to my good friend here. Yeah, okay?
Yes. So John, we're ready.
Yeah, enough time for you. Woo-hoo.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so we actually do this, all right, in the UK, of course, in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, as well as India and China, some parts. We wouldn't claim the whole country, but some parts. So you know how, like, some of us, whether young child, are addicted for handphone games and computer games. All right. And so we are very happy and glad to share that in one session, even in just one consultation session, we've managed to help, all right, teenagers where they delete their own games on their own. Okay. And of course, this excites parents a lot. Yeah. Especially the mummies. And also through this particular tool, we are able to tell, right, for this child, all right, where are their strengths? Where are their weaknesses? So for example, what courses are more suitable for them? Because there are so many out there, all right? Sometimes our kids, they say, oh, yes, I want to join, and then after that, they say they don't already, cannot get the refund, then how, right? Or also in understanding our child, how to then communicate, a lot more effectively with them, and even looking at, their career planning in the future. All right. So I've had the privilege to actually do this for parents from all kinds of backgrounds, including some very interesting people that I've met, millionaires, billionaires, multimillionaires, who even use this not just for their family, but even for their work, all right, in terms of their business, in terms of some of their collaborations. So we have actually been, very blessed to actually appear in various media. So I'm just going to go through this really, really quick.
This is CNN.
Baby Korean can barely stand, but already her fingerprints are being scanned.
Open up your fingers!
Their patterns will be run through software set to reveal her learning ability. This study of fingerprints dramatic
Friends who have done this report, and then ask them whether this has helped them, how this has helped their communication with the children, and allowed them to parent the children better.
Parents are willing to try.
Let's say these two really work, and it can give me a pretty accurate answer as where my child's potential are, then it's much easier for me to...
Yeah, so it got a little bit frozen. But
wow,
I think
what a beautiful picture. I can see that. This is the highlights of the interview. This is the highlight.
Okay, not the highlight, but really, I mean, okay. So I just want to share, if you allow me, real quick. That,
please go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, today I'm very happily married. Yes, to my Prince William. And I have my own Prince William too. It's just that, before this, all right, I was in a relationship, that was really bad, and and it was 10 years on and off, okay, and I got hit by him until I could taste my own blood.
Sorry to hear that. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
And then to make it worse, okay, when I was away in Malaysia, I got robbed, dragged, on the roads of KL.
Oh my God!
Right. So this one is just the surface wounds. There were wounds on my stomach, stomach area and all that. It took 6 months to really fully heal. And during that time, I was asking myself, right, God, what's wrong? What's wrong with my blueprint, right? You know how a blueprint is what we use to build a building, a house, a financial blueprint about money, or love blueprint about relationship. And so from then on, of course, from a situation that was so bad, right, and so sad, to being able to be happy and all that today, right? It's been a journey, and of course, I learned later on, all right, after knowing about neuromapping as a tool from the professor himself, Professor Lin himself, whom I'll introduce later. Then I learned that, hey, certain personalities are more vulnerable in this area, in the area of love and relationship. So now that, especially with our kids, right, who are P5, P6, going to the teenage years. And of course, some kids will mature earlier and start to be in monogamy relationship earlier, or start being curious or delve over that earlier. So certain personalities are more susceptible in that area, which I will share more later. All right. So different personalities, different character traits. So all these, of course, will affect a person's confidence, will affect, even the emotional states, right? So some are more prone in terms of the emotional area, some the relationship area, so various areas. And so by sharing all this is for parents to go, now they understand all these, right? What are some potential pitfalls, and what are some areas then that we can really understand our children? Because a lot of times things may not just show up in the surface, but what's more important is beneath the surface. So of course, when we talk about complete, it's not just the academics, like what you say, it's more than that. All right, what about the child's emotional state? What about the child's mind and mental state? All right, including even their physical state, their health. After having gone through some health challenges myself, then I realized that, these overall are actually so important in raising the child to be confident and capable. All right, when we understand their naturally, where are the strengths, their weaknesses, and then of course, where best to nurture them, right? And so I'm gonna move along. Okay, the screen is a little bit stuck. Yeah, I don't know why this happened. Maybe John, you can enlighten me later on, right? That sometimes once I share screen halfway, it just gets frozen.
Okay, I'm not the Zoom expert here. But I can hear a lot of the echo in the background again. Yeah, I can hear myself. Yeah, okay, I think probably one of the reasons that I can think of quickly now is maybe the specification of your laptop is not being able to handle the high performance that is required out of your laptop.
Oh, I see. Oh, I know why. I think just now when I was sharing the video, because when I was sharing my screen, I actually turned the computer sound. Is this better now?
Yes. I mean, because right now you are not playing any video, so I can't really check. Yeah, but just now when you were playing the video from the YouTube, I can really hear, like, it's like, for example, when I say, I like what you're saying, it's like I can hear I like what you are saying. Yeah.
Oh, so it's like there's a lag.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
There's a lag. Okay. Right. So we were sharing a little bit about the background of dermatoglyphics, right? Okay. So I just want to quickly jump on to that. All right. So it's not showing the same thing that I'm seeing on my slides here. Oh, okay, great. Now it is moving, all right? Because I'm not going to share all my slides, as they will take a while, okay? It's usually at least 2 to 3 hours. So I'm just going to quickly jump into this area, what we call neuromapping, okay? Or what we also call dermatoglyphics. So derma means skin, right? Glyphics means carving or picture. So literally it's the picture or carving on your skin. All right. So as early as 1823 was when the first research came out, right, by Johannes Purkinje. Okay, as I mentioned just now, the fingerprint started as early as 13 to 19 weeks when the fetus is in the mother's womb. All right. At week 15, all right, the fetus brain is formed. Okay, so this is when they say, could there be any correlation? So as early as 1892, Sir Francis Galton already realized that, hey, even twins do not have the same fingerprint. And we can attest to that because we have done lots of reports for twins. They may look alike, feel alike, but their prints are different, character different, personality is different, interest different, what they pursue in the end, what they're good in, also different. And so if we were to ask Thomas Edison to play the piano and Beethoven to do experiments, what do you think will happen? I've got a smart student who said that, hey, we will have a piano that can light up. Now, we do not know about that, okay, but imagine if there's no lighting, no light bulb, all right, then what we have will be, either candlelight, okay, or total darkness. So we believe that truly every person is a genius. So if you're with us right now and you're watching, okay, do type in the word genius, okay? Indeed, every one of us is a genius. Every one of us has our own unique genius inside. So when you get the chance, please shake the hand, of your child or your children, shake the hands of your spouse and say, you are a genius. And then say, so am I, because every one of us has our own unique genius in us. It's a matter of how we unleash our brain power and bring out that genius. So just like this man, okay, this man, his name is Toto, all right, and he has Down syndrome, but he is the conductor of the Beijing Symphonic Orchestra, all right, and which is really, really quite amazing, all right. And so despite his Down syndrome, okay, he has such wonderful achievements. So what more us, right? So in terms of neuromapping, dermatoglyphics has been more than 100 years around in terms of research, all right, and more than 3 million database. I apologize for the phone call because it's my little nephew trying to call me. he really enjoyed calling me and, disturbed me in that sense, but, he loves having fun with this. Okay,
I think next time we can bring him online.
Oh yes, he's actually at my mom's place. Yeah, genetics was passed down, neuroscience, learning styles, character profiling, multiple intelligences. Okay, so there's a whole host. All right, and basically this report, our report is actually from US, Harvard, right? Because it's Harvard US patented by Harvard University. Okay, and so you see there's a US patent number, US 7406186B2. Okay, and so there are basically certain different types of fingerprints, which I'll come into in just a little bit, all right, and you'll start to see, okay, because there's no change, all right, so you only need to do it once in our lifetime because our fingerprints do not change. Now, of course, as a child grows bigger, the pattern gets bigger, all right, clearer, but it is the same pattern, it does not change. Now, there are 4 major types, okay, so if you can kindly type 4 if you're with us, okay, so 4 major types. Now, the first one is what we call whirl or W. So the W in Chinese, we say 问题儿童。为什么是问题儿童呢？因为很喜欢发问。Okay, so to them, they are very curious. All right, so in their heads, they're always asking why? Even if they don't ask out loud in the head, they're always asking why? Why me? Why not me? Why 1, 2, 3? Why cannot 3, 1, 2? All right, so for this type of W's, whether child or adult, if they understand, they agree, they like, it is all the way. Rain, wind, sunshine, snow, haze, no haze, whatever, right? It's all the way. But if they don't like, don't agree, don't understand, will appear to be a little bit.
Sorry, and I missed the last word.
A little bit stubborn.
Okay, and the reason why I really want to hear the last word is because, as you were saying, it reminded me of my middle child. She always asks me why, and she's been like that since. She's P2 now, and she has always been like that since the age of 5.
Oh,
every
yes.
day asking me many questions, and even when I say, can you let Papa rest for a moment? Then she said, yes. The next second, she'll ask me a next question. I was like, okay, what should I do?
Yes. So a lot of whys, because they're very curious. This is how they learn. And that is why we strongly encourage, hopefully, more and more, especially parents, educators, all right, principals, all that. This type of kid, often they're misunderstood. It's not that they're trying to challenge authority. Okay, it's not that they don't believe you or challenge you, but they're very curious. And as long as they don't understand a little bit more, right, they move on to the next step. So that's why it's a lot of why. And sometimes, we have a mom who say, before she can answer the first why, the second why already came. Okay, then the third already came. Then the fourth, like what you said, can I take a little rest first? Right, because they are very curious. So for this kind of kids, right, the good thing about them is often they're quite goal-oriented. All right?
Goal-oriented.
Yes, so when they want something, all right, often they want it. Okay, so because of that, because they're more goal-oriented, the good thing is if they understand, they agree, it's all the way, very persistent. Okay, so there's always two sides, right? Either you can say they are determined, or you can say they are stubborn. All right. So in Chinese, we will say, if they understand, all right, it is 全力以赴. If they don't understand, don't agree, don't like, it's 全力应付. Okay, meaning, they'll just brush you off. Either they do it half-hearted or no heart at all. So this kind of kids, the worst thing you can do is to nag at them. All right, because the more you nag, all right, the more you switch off. And they switch off. And the thing is, it's not good to force things on them, because the harder you push, all right, the harder they will push back. All right. So for them, all right, the best way to convince them is for them to convince themselves. So we really need to take a lot of deep breaths. It takes a lot of conviction. All right. And even after you give them all the evidence, the proof, the this, the that, they might still not follow fully in the end. All right. So it takes a lot of patience, a lot of conviction. But once they are convinced, it is all the way. And therefore, we need to give them really a lot of patience, yes, evidence, proof along the way. And you can always tell them, see for yourself, read for yourself, experience it for yourself. When they are convinced, that's when they move. So I give an example, like, going to KL to eat Hokkien mee. I mean, this is assuming no lockdown, okay? And assuming, everything is good, no pandemic, right? And so border restrictions are released. So I want to go to KL for Hokkien mee. And it doesn't matter whether it's traffic jams, whether it's floods or haze or whatever, right? They want the Hokkien mee, they go there, they eat it and come back. All right, because the Hokkien mee in Malaysia is different from our Singapore Hokkien mee. Okay, they go for it and come back. All right, and there are 9 types to the W's. Okay, now next we have the owner. All right, I move my pointer. The owner, these are your Miss Nice, your Mr. Nice. All right, these are the very friendly ones, the friendly kids, the nice kids. All right, and for them, they need strict discipline. 严加管教. And then you go, Lenny, how come? These are the nice kids, obedient, obliging, nice. Why need to be strict? All right, because for these kids, the way they learn is I see, I copy. They adapt very well. They learn super fast through modeling. All right, because for the W's, they may not model, because they will ask, why do I want to model you? Only if the answer is yes, then they go ahead. If not, they might not. But for the U, all right, very good in modeling, very good in copying. And so, if you let them model the good examples, they go to a camp and they learn perfect British English. They come back with perfect British English and the Queen's Wave. But if they go and learn all the horrible swear words, they come back with all the colorful languages very quickly. All right. So these are the owners. All right. There are 2 types of owners. Okay. Not just one type. So these are the people. They may not be the first one to say hi to you or to a stranger, but once they know you, All right, you ask them, let's go for makan, let's go for movie, let's go for training. Yes, they will join. Okay, so they love it when everyone is gathering together, take pictures together, eat together, all right, everything together, okay, including girls who want to like to go to the toilet together, okay, everything is together, all right, so they love, they enjoy, people, especially after they're comfortable with the people, so they're very people type of kids or adults, very good with people. And because of that, they model and copy very well. So you must be very aware of the environment. What type of environment? Who are they following? Who are they copying? Including even adults. All right. So this is very key. And what they love is systems. So the way they learn is through systems. All right. This kind of persons, especially adults, if you put them in an environment where 1 minute like this, next minute change, very annoying for them. All right, they love systems. And if there's no system, likely they will leave. So either you set up a good system for them or involve them to set up the system. They will do a brilliant job. Okay, so systems is their key. Learning through role modeling, learning through copying is their very key. All right, and this, sometimes parents will ask, hey, would the nature change? All right, and indeed, especially for this type of profile, the you, their nature likely will change from very young to older. They can appear very different. All right. We had this one lady when young, obedient, super nice, sweet. All right. When older, she had to go to work in China, and especially in male-dominated type of environment, she had to learn to become a BITCH. So from being nice to a BITCH. All right. So there's been a change because they are influenced very much by the environment. So this is very, very key. And now, so imagine going to KL for Hokkien Mee, right? So the you will say, come, let's gather together and plan first. Gather together and discuss first. Actually, our Singapore Hokkien Mee also not bad, what? Then never mind lah, we go next time lah. So they may not go straight away. Okay. Then we have the radial. Okay, the radial, this is what we call the opposition party.
Sorry, can I just help the parents to break it down into like groups for them to understand first? Because it's something very new to us. Yeah. So okay, because we also have some parents who have just joined us, so I also want to make sure that they are able to catch up.
Sure.
All right. Yes. So okay. At the same time, we also have some parents who have always been with us for a long time. And hello, Agnes, thanks for being here. And thanks for being present for almost all our webinars. And I also want to say, Daddy Thomas and Zai, thanks for being here as well. Okay, for parents who are online with us right now, do drop us a like or say hi to show us that you are here. And I can see that the number of views of these videos is getting much higher. Yeah, at the same time, the reason why I invited our good friend here is to really share with parents more skills and knowledge to equip our children and to be able to nurture them well. Yeah, because you can see that if you are someone who support your child in terms of maths at home, it's more than just teaching them maths. It's also about equipping them with life skills as well. And sometimes different children have different characteristics as what we are covering right now, the 4 thumbprint traits, right? Yeah. So
yes.
To benefit more parents, do help us to share this video as well so that more parents can benefit from it and they are able to know how to better manage their own children and bring them up to the next level. All right. Thanks.
Great, thanks, John. Okay, especially for parents who just join us. So we're talking about the 4 categories, okay? The 4 categories, main ways of learning, main major types. So just to quickly backtrack, so actually there's scientific evidence that from the fingerprints, okay, it's actually related to the nerves, connected nerves and all that in the brain. Okay, so we're not talking about fortune telling here, all right? We're actually talking about the nerves, we're talking about the brain, we're talking about learning, personality, all right? And how to then guide our children accordingly. So we have the W's, okay? So the W's, these are the kids who love to ask a lot of why, all right? And they are really, not purposefully challenging our authority, Okay, and so for the W's, it's important that they understand, they agree, they like, then it's all the way. Otherwise, appear to be uncooperative, a little bit stubborn, all right? And the W, all right, best is not to nag at them because that's not the most effective way for them. And importantly, also not to threaten them. Okay, so I'll add this part as well, all right, because the more you threaten them, all right, because ego is also strong for the W's, okay, the more they push back. I mean, case in point, right, I've got another nephew. So what happened to him, you know, this 3-year-old, all right, was mommy was telling him to get in the car to go for his music classes. All right, but he got very distracted and he wanted to come to the room where I was in, going through all these reports, and he was more curious and excited. And the mom kept shouting and saying that, hey, you know, you come out, otherwise I'm going to go. And guess what he said? You know, okay, you know, because to him is I'm not the one who wants to go. You want to go, you threaten me, you want to go, bye-bye. I will do my own thing. Right? So be very careful with this type of personalities, especially when it comes to teenage years. And not, you know, in a spit of anger, right? In a moment of anger, we say, you don't like this home, you leave. Because once they head out and leave, you know, of course, it's parents who are crying. Yes, so threats definitely do not work with them. But conviction definitely works. It takes patience, it takes a bit of time. You know, best way to convince them is for them to convince themselves. All right, through what they read, you know, through what they hear, through what they understand. So of course, when they're very, very young, you know, we need to be even more patient with them and anticipate certain scenarios. And for a lot of ways, a lot of types, storytelling is a wonderful way to get certain messages across. Okay, I can share a bit more about that later on. All right, then we have the owner. Okay, so the owner, all right, these are the nice girls, nice boys, all right, very sociable, okay, even if they're not the first to say hello, all right, once they get to know you, they'll join you for all kinds of group activities. Now, the owner, again, is divided into 2 types, okay? We have the owner and motive type, all right, which basically are just like the W's, if not stronger. Then we have the owner and concept type. Now this type, beware, they are nice, brilliant kids, super nice. The issue is being too nice. I always say nice is great, too nice, a problem. Because when they're being too nice, whether as children or adults, then higher tendency to be bullied. So then we need to equip them and train them and teach them, all right, how to stand up for themselves, all right, how to be able to defend themselves in a good way, in a healthy way, and not be bullied, all right, how to lead and not, you know, be able to just be stepped over like that, all right? So that is important. And bullying, obviously, as we know, can happen across all ages. All right, I've heard of cases of bullying from even very, very young kids. Okay, so that's important for the youth, and it's important in terms of the environment, who they are with, who they learn from, who they copy. Very, very important. Whether it's same age kids or adults alike. All right, role modeling is very, very important because that's how they learn, and systems. All right, they love systems. All right, so it's good to always explain step by step, okay? And very good to involve them in building systems and steps, okay? Because you'll notice in contrast, the W's, they are the thinkers that can go east, west, north, south, you know, and jump every place, all right? But the U, the way they learn, the best way to learn is actually through systems, step by step. Now, next, we have the R group, okay, the radial group. And these are the opposition party, just like our Mr. Cham Si Tong, right? Everyone says yes, they say no. Everyone say good, they say no. Okay, and so the way they are, they love to think out of the box. So this kind of thinkers, It's like, you know what Steve Jobs says, right? Think different. That's always his line, his motto, right, for Apple. So why should clothes be made of cloth? Why not paper? Why not plastic? So the approach is very unique, very different. They love things that are new, that are exciting, that are different. So you can imagine, for example, when people go to Paris, what's the first thing that you think about Paris, John? Where would you want to visit in Paris?
The Eiffel Tower. I mean, that's the icon.
Yes, usually people would think Eiffel Tower, right? This group, you know what they do? They go to France, they go and check out the catacombs, you know, with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of skulls. Okay, like that, right? So very unique. And so they come up with ways that are very different. So sometimes people can call them weird, can call them oddball, all right? But usually these are the people who see trends ahead of time, who set trends, all right? Because they do something so different, all right? For example, there is this lady called Michelle Mone, M-O-N-E. You can check her out on Wikipedia. So what happened to her was she was left with her last bit of money and her whole family was going to be chased out already without a roof and things like that, you know. And so she managed, all right, to pull a stunt, and she sold, all right, months and months of stock, something along the lines of several months, even 6 or 12 months worth of stock within 24 hours. And how did she do that? All right, she was selling bras, okay, and lingerie bras. And so what she did was she got people to dress up as scientists, all right, as doctors, but really they're just actors. And they go, Ben Ultimo, Ben her brand. And it created such a stir. Hundreds of photographers came and people even wanted to call the police, all right? All the reporters came. And she was so happy. If you want to call the police, please do, so that if she's locked up, at least she has food and clothes and jail. Okay, and so she pulled out a stunt like this because she did something very unique and very different. So these are the kids who are like that. The way they think, the way they do things, very, very different. We had this one adult, for example, all right, he kept saying, he said that, you know, in terms of in Bali, all right, this plot, he said, plot A is good as investment. Everybody said crazy, B is good, A is not good. But 5 years later, he was proven right because he invested in plot A. Okay, so very unique. And so they love to come up with very creative innovation, all right? But sometimes they may tend to offend people because they are very blunt. They will go, you're so fat, you need to go on a diet, all right? Oh, you know, people's feelings get hurt, right? Especially the youth, right? Okay, but really the aim is not to hurt, all right? But they're being very blunt. And if you're able to take what they say and adjust and learn, you will do very well. Okay, so that's your radial. And they are the ones who will then say, Hokkien Mee, Jakarta has the best. And you're like, what? We're talking about KL, what Jakarta? All right, so you see, you have, and they're very brilliant. We have this one 5-year-old, 5 years old only, with radial in the thumb, so very strong radial cramp. He wanted his mommy promised to be home early, but because she was busy at work, couldn't be home early, he got very angry with her. So what he did was, every time mommy comes home, right, he will purposely ignore his mom and shower all his love, all his attention on grandma to make mommy jealous and realize that he's unhappy with her. Okay, so when it comes to strategy, innovation, creative thinking, there you go, great for them. Now, for this group, for example, then how do you deal with it? Because they're so blunt, right? And sometimes parents may even get embarrassed. Okay, all right. It's best to train them to ask questions. So instead of saying, you are so fat, okay, you can say, hey, how has it been with you this period with the pandemic and being at home more, or being in front of the computer and TV more, all right? And then John may go, yeah, I've been snacking a lot. And that's why I put on weight. Hey, then maybe we can go to the gym together sometime. Okay, so basically same message, we can still come down to the same message, but we start off with questions. So we train them to ask questions instead of putting forth a statement that, even though it might be true, may potentially offend others. Right? Now, of course, this is relevant and important because, for example, we had even one childcare center owner, right? She put me aside and showed me her report. And I understand where her dilemma is because she has this print. So imagine she is customer facing, yes? And obviously sometimes being too blunt, yeah, she might actually put off some parents, some customers, even though it's the truth, all right? So it's learning how to first ask and then slowly speak the truth with some compassion. Okay, right? So there we have the R. Okay, so the W's, there are 9 types. Okay, in general, we have 3 types of loops. Okay, and then we have the radial is one type, and then we have the arch. Okay, so the arch, we have 5 types. Now we talk about the A's, okay? So the A's, the way they learn is not by asking why, it's not so much through role modeling or copying or adapting. It's not so much by thinking radically and a different way. The way they learn is only if they are taught, then they will learn. If not taught, may not learn on their own. So their brain is like a sponge. You leave it out, it's dry. You put it in water, it will soak up everything. All right. So the way the archers learn is through safety. Safety is very key for them. Must feel safe. All right, for them to learn, for them to do. So safety is key. So safety, simplicity must be simple, repeat. Safe, simple, repeat. Safe, simple, repeat. Safe, simple, repeat. This is how the archers learn and absorb. So often these are the kids, right, where you see other kids, right, laughing, rolling on the floor already, and they fold their arms to watch. Okay, so teachers may say slower to warm up, slower to pick up. So if parents, if teachers have ever said that about your child, all right, and you happen to know and find out in the end actually is this print, I have an encouraging message for you to really take heart. We had the case of this parent, right, where yes, the teacher was complaining, about the young child, saying that, the kid is just not following as well, all right, and we told the mom, because of the arts print, take heart, all right, have patience and really, simplify things for the child, all right, repeat, okay, make sure he feels safe in learning. And guess what? From teachers complaining, not catching up in class, to always getting, awards in class, doing really well. And so the mom was saying, thank you for encouraging me, to continue to believing in my child, to have the patience with him, because that's the way they learn. Just that's how they learn. They are later bloomers. They bloom much later. Case in point, we had this gentleman, very, very successful, a multi-millionaire. All his kids are successful. And at one point, I think he was chairman or keyest person in WHO, all right, in Southeast Asia and all that. So he was doing really well. But, very interestingly, he would always say, his wife is very smart. His wife is very smart. And when we do the reports, yes, the wife has W. So the wife picks up things and handles all things very quickly, very well, yes, and supports him very well. For him, because he only bloomed late, only when he was in his late 50s, okay, then his career, his everything started to really take off. So when he was younger, he felt he wasn't as fast as all the other kids. He didn't pick up as fast, he didn't move as fast, and all that, right? I mean, of course, don't get as much attention, or maybe get some undesirable attention from the teachers because not fast, all right? But hey, look at him now. I mean, just being realistic in terms of, let's say, financial terms, right? He's doing way better than the teachers. Not saying teachers are not bad, they have their own contribution, all right? But for example, people who judged him as just slow and not that fantastic a kid last time, hey, look what he has achieved now, all right? So what we're saying is, you see, why, we dare to say every kid is a genius, has a genius. It's really a matter of once we understand their nature and how to work with that, all right, we can then nurture them well. Okay, so I'll cover that later in our reports. There's not only the nature part, there is also the nurture part. Now, for the A's, all right, including the U's also, especially the U and the A, especially the A, I want to especially highlight this because they are more susceptible emotionally. So we must really, really, really watch out for their emotions. Okay, I know of one parent, I won't give too much of the details, all right, where even when we did the scanning, we already said, hey, take note, take note of your interaction with the child because this child, is emotionally more vulnerable. And the aunt also said, hey, yeah, you watch out, your tone and all that, with your kid. So we wanted to do the consultation for the report because the report is a 22-page report. And we were going to arrange for consultation. And mommy was busy. And by the time we're about to do consultation, the kid already jumped.
Sorry, the kid already, sorry?
Jumped and committed suicide.
Oh, dear.
This is Singapore. Yeah, Singapore, 12-year-old. All right. And so obviously, it didn't just happen overnight. Mm-hmm. Okay, it is emotions that have been suppressed over time. Okay, and the problem is, all right, especially with the A's, because they keep to themselves so much that it may not be expressed. Okay, for a certain type of A, it may not be expressed. And then sometimes, it just shows like this. And the parents get into a shock because they say, hey, my child is so good. How come this happened? It's not about being good or not. It's a matter of how well have they been equipped to handle the emotions, supported to handle the emotions. All right. So okay. Yeah. I hope for now this is clear enough.
Yes. Okay. We have one question from Mummy Agnes, and she's asking. Okay, this is what she asked. Are there kids with the 4 major types trait?
Of course, yes. So what I was explaining just now is just each one how it's like. So we can have a combination of different ones. All right, combination. Okay, so for example, we're talking about main learning style and main way of learning. That's only in the thumbs. Okay, then the rest of the fingers also measure other things. Okay, which we'll come into. All right. So I'm not sure how much we can cover today, but we'll do our best. All right.
We have 4 minutes.
Who knows? Okay, if parents are interested, if John has the time, we can do something. Okay, so anyway, yes, it's a combination. So if in the thumbs, all right, so how you can remember the intensity of the personality is this, all right? You can go by WRUA. Where are you A? Okay, so you can remember it's where are you A? Okay, so the W and the R, they are the stronger prints, stronger personalities, stronger intensity. The U and the A not as strong, provided it is U and concept and not U and motive base. Okay, so there's all this integration. All right, so usually below 8 years old, all right, the not so strong prints will show up first. If the kid has U and W, for example, so the U will show up first before the W. So that's why sometimes parents go, hey, how come my kid, when young, right, all right, that time, because the U shows up first, so sweet, so obedient, so good. Oh yeah, come to secondary school, whatever. Oh no, skip class, play truant. All right, go and learn different habits, from friends, learn smoking, whatnot, because sometimes the W starts to show up. Okay, so different combination. And we had this one mom, who was so frustrated because she loved her child, loved her daughter, but really didn't know how to handle her. And when we did the report, we found out she has all 4 different types of prints. Mm-hmm. All 4, which means just when you start to figure out, hey, she's like this, I think she's like this, hey, she shows something different. All right. Then she shows something different again. Then she shows something because she has all of it. So you cannot just use one way to guide her or discipline her or parent her because all are needed. All right. So it really depends on the child. So for example, like this girl, right? When the mom brings her for classes, she will yell, she will scream, she will cry. And when people see that, right, people think that, wow, this mother, a horrible tiger mom, man, abused the child. But during class and at the end of the class, the child will be smiling and laughing very happily. Very happily. Okay. So for the longest time, she couldn't understand all these different things about her daughter. Once she understood this, she has such a lovely relationship with the daughter. Okay. Then she even asked, her nieces, her nephews, and all that, to have their reports done as well. So it's really about understanding, because once we understand, we can embrace. All right. And then we can love better. And everything, the foundation, the base, always love. When we can come from a place of love, and everything is definitely always better. The child is supported and learns better. Okay.
Yeah, and I resonate with that. Okay, sorry, I can hear myself. Okay, great. Yeah, I can resonate with that because even when I talk to my wife, I always share my intention, and this works very well for my children as well. Because there are times that when we act out or we express, it may be taken differently. So it always helps when we share that, the reason why I did this is because blah, blah, blah. It really helps to smoothen the process instead of getting agitated.
Yes, indeed. And so it's all about gentle parenting, right? And so you're very right, because at the end it's communication. Okay, so when you come from a place, when people understand you come from a place of good intention and being vulnerable, right? Then of course, they don't feel attacked. Yeah, when the person does not feel attacked, whether child or adult, then they don't become defensive, and then the message comes in better. And of course, then it comes also, to my later part of presentation, where besides this, we also look at whether the child is learning, the learning style is really more auditory or kinesthetic, all right, or visual, because all these play a part as well, all right, in terms of communication, okay? So I will not go into all the details because I already gave all the examples, all right? So of course, for everyone, this can help, right? Because our journey in life to understand ourselves better, parents, educators, even grandparents, or even domestic helpers, okay, who sometimes need to be watching after the kid and therefore guiding them as well when parents are busy at work. All right, for students, in terms of course of study, should they go into commerce? Should they go into sciences or into arts? All right, between husband and wife, instead of, why you are like that? I don't understand why you are like that, all right? And in terms of choosing the career, and especially for those of us who are leaders in organizations, like heads of departments, or you run your own companies, right? Because hiring and firing is very tiring. So it's important to hire right from the start. So whether we hire or whether we go and interview and hopefully, we join, the most suitable career for us, that's always wonderful, right? So in raising our kids, right, not only to be confident, to be capable, it includes, of course, also for them to be able to shine best, all right, whether in terms of classes, whether in terms of their career, okay? So I'm going to move along and so if everyone can do this with me, okay, left brain, okay, if you tap your left side of the brain, okay, left brain, and it's actually the right hand, okay? So our left brain is linked to the right hand, and our right brain is actually linked to the left hand. So it's actually crossed, okay? And so, as I already explained just now, right, so the thumbs links to the prefrontal, the index to the postfrontal, the middle to the parietal, the ring to the temporal, all right, and the pinky to the occipital. So we're going to look at, so this is just the first page of the report, all right, and there's already a lot of information, but I'll just quickly share. So from the report, we are then able to tell, okay, here, the left brain is always more the analytical brain, Okay, so if you get the chance, you can type in analytical. Okay, so the left brain is always more the analytical brain. So you will see things like planning, judgment, all right, operation, comprehension, identification. That's always the left brain. The right brain is always about things like concept, vision, appreciation, all right, intuition, all this, that's really a little more the right brain, okay? Now, of course, when our left and right brains are balanced, that's when learning takes place the best and the most effective, okay? So some simple things we can do, I think, John, you can see me on the screen also, right? The little screen.
Yep. Yes.
I'm just going to use a little screen because I don't want to stop sharing and then later, we have issues, okay? So you can have a gun like a hunter rabbit, and then switch hunter rabbit, and then switch hunter rabbit, okay? So even a simple exercise like this is fun, but it serves to balance the brain, okay? When the brain is balanced is when we can absorb and retain information the best. So in the front area here, we have communication, management, planning, judgment. This is short-term goal, all right? So I'm going to expand it big, okay? Short-term goal, all right? So those who are strong in this area, very suited in the area of operations management, so these are, for example, like events, okay? 1-day event, 2-day event, 3-day event, short-term goal. The other one is long-term. All right, long-term goals. So from here, we can quickly tell, I won't give you all the details, all right, that if a kid is very strong on the short-term goal and weak on long-term, it's no use to throw a thick book at them and say study. Okay, there's so much. It's too much to finish. Why even start? They're very good in calculating. Well, forget it. Why even start? They cannot finish. Okay, so we need to, for example, chunk it down, okay? So we can see that. And then, of course, language ability is multiple languages, handling more than one language. So if they're weaker in this area, we don't want them to revise English and Chinese on the same day. All right, at least skip another day, 2 days, all right? Then they go for it. And talking about math, your forte, right, John? So this side on the left, is where you have the equations, algebra, numbers. On the right is where you have your mensuration, volume, space, height, shape, angles, okay? That's why in math, there are actually 2 areas of math. So depending on where they are strong or weak, of course, to guide them accordingly. Then we have this part, okay, you move on to the right side, fine motor skills, all right? If the child's fine motor skills is weak, don't like to write. And if they don't like to write, of course, sentences, essays are going to be an issue. So we have certain tools, all right, and tips that we can share where, they're able to grip better and more willing to write. And when they're more willing to write, more able to write. Okay, so it's good to know that and train that. Then the other one, a kinesthetic field, is big movements, sports, and all that, right? Then we have auditory. Those who are strong here, one time they can hear already, auditory identification. If they are weak, you can say a few times, they go, huh? And please don't twist the ears and say that, hey, you didn't bring your ears, okay? They did, it's just that first time around, it doesn't go in. So then how to help them with that? And then visual, okay? Those who are strong, great. If they are weak, for example, mommy's face has turned from red to black with smoke coming out. Still don't know mommy's angry. Okay, right? And if they're weaker on the visual identification, harder to deal with subjects like Chinese and history, okay, where you actually have to identify the shape, remember the shape, and recall and things like that. So then how to guide them accordingly? And this is just the nature part. There is also, of course, the nurture part, right? That after we understand their nature in terms of nerve growth factor, that means with a little bit of training, how much more room to move up in each area and therefore to guide them accordingly. I have more to share, but I think the time is running out, right?
Actually, it's already run out. Yeah, but I think, okay, maybe I just jump in quickly so that we can do a nice wrap up so that it doesn't appear too sudden for the parents.
Sure,
and also some of them may be like doing work in office and they are just trying to sneak into the Facebook Live to hear what's going on.
I hear you.
So we don't want to get into trouble as well. Yeah, but parents, okay, let me just see how I can wrap up, because I know that there's so much to share. Even I got very interested, which is why I didn't stop you, because it's also interests me. Yeah. So parents, maybe what we can do now, let's see how we can wrap up nicely. And okay, a few things going on here. Parents, I think what we have shared today is very useful, and even I myself, I'm sharing this on my Facebook wall so I can keep a copy and I can refer it as and when I want. Yeah, so if you want to keep a copy of this video and see how the WRUA, see where are UA, I remember, yeah, and you want to discuss it with your child tonight, just share the click on share button, and then you can actually have this video share on your Facebook wall, and you can refer to it anytime you want, and it's so much easier for you. Yeah. Okay, we have one question from Mommy Agnes, who is one of our strongest supporter, and of course we'll answer that later on. And then what you can help us with is maybe just share one key takeaway after you have answered the question, and then also tell us how we can get in touch with you if you are interested in the assessment, because I'm very keen as well. Yeah. So okay, so starting off from Agnes, she's asking, so meaning we just do the test and we can understand our children better. This one I also want to know.
Yes, and the answer is yes. Because okay, we're four fingers, okay, but of course to have this full report, yeah, that is actually a 10-finger scan for a full report of 22 pages. Of course, I can always give you the details. You can contact us. Yes. Right. And yes, because once we understand our child, the natural makeup and where the potential are, potentially we can find our next Joseph Schooling, all right? Even if not, all right, I just want to emphasize the key takeaway is that we celebrate. Okay, the key is to celebrate our children, because every one of them is unique. You know, they may test our patience sometimes, all right, but it's really how then we work and understand and work with them. So the one key takeaway I would like to share with parents is, you know, often we see all the things that are wrong. Okay, all the things that are wrong, whether it's our spouse, whether it's our kids, how they irritate us or what's wrong with them. All right, I want to encourage us to catch them doing good. Catch them doing good, catch them being good, because they definitely have their strength. Just like the W's, are we seeing them as just stubborn, or can we see their strength in terms of their determination? All right, the U, can we just straight away call them social butterflies? Everybody also can one. Or hey, they are building a strong network. All right. So there's always something good, something positive. So that's the key takeaway I want parents to take away with, and celebrate your child and catch them doing good and see their good, and really bring out, you know, their genius. Yeah.
Yes. Can I also just add that that I think all our children are different and unique in a sense of it doesn't matter what traits they have, because there will come a time that they will be able to reach their potential. It may not be now, so parents, we have to be patient. This is why we sign up for this work as a parents, to nurture our kid, to really let our children be children, and then also let them be who they are and nurture them along the way.
Yes, and to really understand them, especially if there are more than one kid in the family, you will notice that, you know, same roof, same food, right? But they're different. So because each one of us is unique, there's a unique genius. God created every one of us unique, amazing, different. So it's very key to relate to each one differently. And so, yes, once we have the full report, we can truly then understand and work with our child, you know, a lot better.
Yes. Okay. I think
my contact, right? So
maybe,
it is.
Yeah. Maybe you can share with your contact. So, how can we get the test done? I mean, if they want to get in touch with you, okay, parents. Just a disclaimer here. This is not a paid advertising, right? Oh, okay. And I got to know you because I think we are referred. I mean, I was recommended to you by someone else, and I really like the work you are doing. And now I know how come we meet lah, because I think somehow for the parenting values that we have, I think, is quite similar. That's why I think we can just talk non-stop about it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Okay. So how can parents get in touch with you if they want to get to know?
Okay, I think WhatsApp is very quick. You can WhatsApp me at 9833-8037.
Okay, is it
or email Lenny.
Hold on, sorry, a bit too fast.
Sure.
Okay, Lenny
at Wonderful Minds.
Wonderful Minds.
Yes, with S. wonderfulminds.com.sg.
.com.sg. Okay, let me repeat. Lenny at wonderfulminds.com.sg. Okay, I'll just put this in the chat box just to make sure that it's correct. Give me a minute.
Sure.
Okay, so that I can paste the right one in the comments box. Is this correct? The one in the Zoom chat.
Okay, let me take a look. Allow me to just stop the share.
No, you can actually see the chat. You can see the chat just by clicking on.
Yeah,
never mind, it's okay.
I see it. Yes, correct.
Correct, okay.
That's right.
Okay, parents, if you want to get in touch with my friend, you go to Lenny at wonderfulminds with a s.com.sg. And if you want just to let her know that you got to know her from learning out of the box. Yeah. Because I think it's always good to know where are the sources of our prospects. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so quick, I think I have so many questions to ask you until I forgot. See, I'm the one who is holding you back. See, I'm so selfish. wait, I got so many questions. Wait, sorry, I know that you're gonna rush off. Okay, yeah, I think to do a sharing on my side. Okay, just to add on that, in fact, all our children have different traits, and parents, you need to give your children the room to grow. One quick sharing from me is when I was in P5, and some parents who are very close to me actually didn't know my story, as in the LB parents. When I was in P5, I was in the best class and I went for the English oral. And because I got stage fright, I got very high anxiety, even right now. Yeah, so when I was like stuck and I refused to speak, then my teacher, I thought he's going to open up his mouth and tell me, John, you can do it. You know what he said to me or not? Why are you so hopeless? Yeah. So if I have taken his comments like full force into my head and let it dictate who I am, I wouldn't be a speaker today. Yeah. So I think parents, what I'm trying to share here is I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to impress upon you that you do have to give your children the space to grow. And actually, I want to thank my manager of my ex workplace. And she really believed that I can be a good speaker, even though I can't speak well. But for 7 years, she has always told me, hey, John, you can do it, you can do it. And actually, I'm a very lousy speaker, but because of her trust and belief, I'm doing what I'm doing today. Yeah, and I really like it. Yeah. All right. So parents, give your children the room to grow. And it may not be now in primary school, but you have to really give them the space. Yeah.
Yes, totally agree, John. Totally agree. Especially the A's, as I mentioned, right? You need to allow them the room, the time. But hey, after that, they can shine. And they are the glue in an organization. I've got one client. In this organization, they are a hotel, right? 51 years, and this particular person has been working with them in the F&B industry in the same hotel for 51 years. All right, people cannot even stay 5 months, but for 51 years. So you see, everybody's strength is different. Really don't allow, I'm so glad you didn't allow that teacher, right, to kind of, the horrible remarks to ruin you,
Yeah, I'm going to cry already.
I had a teacher who told me, that I don't sing my croak.
Sorry, because I cannot hear.
I had a music teacher who told me, Lenny, you cannot sing, you croak.
Oh, ayo, so naughty, the teacher.
Yes, again, a primary school teacher, right? So that's so sad. And that's why parents, we do not know what our kids encounter outside, even in school. All the more, we need to be their best supporters, all right? Yeah.
Yes. Okay, one last question, and I promise you, this is the last question. Yeah, because I got to remember myself, this will last until like 3 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, Zai is asking, okay, this parent is saying, thank you so much for the interesting topic, educational for mommy. Yeah. So understand our child better. What is the maximum age to do the test? I don't think so,
the
right?
interesting thing is, yes, the youngest that we do the test for, usually we say 6 months.
Okay.
All right. But in our
months,
DBS event, right, for this kid, even 4 months, it was clear already. Okay. So from as young as 4 months, 6 months, if it's clear, all the way to the most mature person we have done is 70 plus.
So
okay,
I can do lah. So I can do.
Can. We have parents, right, who do it for their kids, for themselves, and for the grandparents, 3 generations. All right. Of course, it's very lovely because then you know who got what, who, you know, what comes from who, and then how to really interact with each other. Yeah. So no maximum age. Any age is fine.
Okay, good. Zai, I hope that answer your question. Drop me a yes if you got your answer. Yeah. Okay, I think it's really 12:20. I mean, I love to hold you back as long as I can because there are so many questions. Yeah, and I think this is one of the more interesting phase of lifestyle that can really help parents to really understand their children. I mean, it could be a shortcut, yes, but parents, whatever that you learn about your kids through this test, you still need to nurture your child. And a lot of times it's more like you need to learn how to nurture your child. It's not like, oh, you get an answer, that's it, yeah. Yeah.
Apply.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah, because information is not transformation. All right. It is action that becomes transformation. So it's about taking action. It's about parents applying what they have learned.
Correct. Plus, I believe that there are some parents like us may even need to totally throw away all our parenting style and we learn because we love our kids. We have to relearn everything from scratch.
We had this parent, right, as a father, after he saw the kids report, right, he cried. He actually cried. It was a father, not even a mom, because he realized that the way he's handled his first son, okay, the parenting method, because in our report, it shows the most suitable parenting method, right? And he realized he did the opposite, you know, with his son, and he felt bad. And so we encouraged him. Yes, while that was the case in the past, hey, the good news is from now on, it's something different. From now on, you can embrace something that you've not done before, and a better thing to parent your child is not too late.
Yeah, great. Ken, I would love to talk to you more. I mean, we can do it after the sharing. Parents, so I get my one-to-one time with my friend. Okay, parents, if you are very keen to get in touch with us, you go to Lenny at wonderfulminds.com.sg. Again, this is not a paid endorsement. I just want to share with you, there are actually many other tools out there that you don't know yet that can really help your kids. And in a way, I really hope that this can somehow improve your relationship with your child. And this is what is important. And this is going to last a lifetime.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no worries, no obligation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, later I want to ask you how I can do. Hey, got a family plan or not? Later I will ask you.
Got. Sure. We can discuss that later.
Okay. I have one last question which I always pose to all my guests. Yeah. Okay. As you know, we are supporting our parents in our Facebook group, and these parents are parents who teach their children maths at home. Yeah. And we know that being a Singapore kid, the 12-year-old stage is like the do or die kind of thing. I mean, for a lack of a better word. Yeah. So if I can invite you to walk down the memory lane, from the older self to your younger self, and as you walk down the memory lane, you bump into the 12-year-old you. She's so close to you that you can almost feel her, and she's looking at you right into the eyes. What will you tell her? No wrong or rights, can be anything.
Very good question. Right? Yeah.
Anything.
Excellent question. It really got me thinking.
Yeah.
All right. You know what I would say to myself is go out and move and exercise more. Why I say that was because when I was 12, the case for me was I did very well. That's why I managed to get into SEP school, So my issue was my mom used to say, if you stand up, the chair will be stuck to your butt.
Oh.
All right. Because always sitting and studying, go for holiday, I wanted to pack all my books along with me, all right, in the luggage. Then my mom said, please, can you not do that? All right. So that was great. That was great for my academic career, I must say. Yes, but I missed out a lot on the exercise, on the movement. Right now, I'm doing my best to exercise, and move and get my health back, So that's why I start to realize it's so important when we raise our kids. It's all around, spiritually are they healthy, emotionally, mentally, physically, all around. Then they can truly, be the brightest being they can be. Yeah, so that's what I'll say to myself. Keep up with the great work in terms of the studying, but move more, go exercise more.
Awesome. So must move more. Let me just push a bit. What will you tell the 12-year-old self about PSLE?
It's a game.
Anything else?
It's a game. And that's why I encourage parents as well, to encourage their kids to see the exam as a game. Just like when you play a game, right? There are levels to achieve. There are things to move. If you see it that way and make it more fun, you won't be so anxious about it. Because last time, even for spelling tests, I used to lose sleep over it.
Yo.
That kind of student kanchong and still did well, but I realized I wasted so much time and energy, right? Being anxious, being all so tightened up, so worried that I didn't enjoy the process. So I strongly encourage, right, especially our PSLE kids, right? Yes, there's PSLE. There's also life. There's also life to enjoy. Maybe for a while you can't do all the things you like yet, have to study. But after that, there's still life, and there's more than just PSLE. I mean, there are people who didn't do so well on PSLE and still shine so brightly right now. It doesn't make them any less, right? But of course, if you do well, fantastic. Of course, our aim is to do well, not for parents, not for anyone else, for ourselves, right? To show that we have the discipline, we have the ability to answer when we are being questioned about what we have learned. Yeah, so see as a game.
Great, thanks so much for sharing, and I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, so parents, thanks so much for watching this. So if you want to share with us like one learning points, just drop us a comment. We would love to see what you have learned. And if you feel that this video is something that you want to keep, just simply click on the share buttons and then it will stick to your wall, and then you can refer to it anytime you want. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have come to the end. Wow, this is like 12 to 8. I should have like given you one full day to share.
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay, so parents, thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you around on this Wednesday for another Facebook Live at nights at 7:30 to help our P5s to transit properly and more smoothly into P6. Yeah, so see you there. Okay, anything you want to share with your parents, and then we'll just wrap up, yeah, or end off.
Okay, let's see. Hopefully, if we can do a part 2, maybe, so I can share a bit more about all the different prints, and you see even more differences. Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah, we can rearrange. Yeah.
Sure. Parents, enjoy your kids.
Have a good lunch. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.